Okay, so I just got back from North Carolina, visiting family for my cousin's wedding. Um, it's been a long day of traveling, so I'm not planning on doing too much programming today. But what I am planning on doing is checking out a couple of our gravity options in our taxi class, because actually, let's see where we're at right now. So we've got actually, yeah, we took out our taxi instantiation in the init, so now we have to kind of spawn one. So this should spawn a taxi over here on the right, and it does. And right now it just gives it... What are we printing up there that's nil? At least it's not falling through the floor anymore. Oh, as soon as I said that, it fell. What are we printing up there? Whether or not it's grounded. Dang it. Yeah, okay. I need to switch back to spawning a taxi so that we don't have to wait for it to hatch. See, that should be true because it's touching the ground. If check grounded is... Okay, so we need to do a couple things. You know, I bet if we print up... See how it falls like that? I bet if we print up its dy... yeah, I bet if we print up its dy, it'll show a number that's just getting bigger and bigger. Oh, yeah, we gotta do that next. We gotta spawn our taxi correctly here. Come on, dy. Well, it gets reset. Okay. Huh. So it looks like it's only not working on the ground platform, but it's working perfect on the platform, so we'll have to figure that out. Because look, if we collide with a bottom platform, we set our y to 0, which we gotta also do here if we collide with the ground platform. That should stop us from falling down the bottom off the ground platform. But we need to spawn us... Not here. We'll put taxi 1 as an instantiation. Then we need to update taxi 1. Then we need to render taxi 1. And then we need to not necessarily render all our other taxis. We can leave them because we're not going to be popping them much. So taxi 7 dx. Okay. Taxi dx. What was it? dx is the nil value on taxi 7. Oh, we didn't give it a dx. Okay, we changed our parameters. So when we turn this back on, we also need to give it a dx, which where do we instantiate our taxi that's popped? We give it a dx xy with height index. We need to give it... Oh, that's just in tables populated. Where's the next time? It's the real instantiation here. -1 right before the index gives us a left dx. But if we say instead here before our index, we give it a +1 and then a index of... I don't actually want to give it an index, but I guess we need to. We'll just give it 1, I guess. If we pop the vulture 1, it'll overwrite our taxi that gets spawned here, but we're not seeing him. Are we updating? and rendering. Taxi 1 render. Taxi 1 update. Taxi 1 taxi XY width height DX index. DX index. If we leave that out, what does that do? Still no. I don't know why our taxi isn't rendering right now. That one works. See, that should be grounded there. Okay, why isn't our guy rendering? We've got taxi 1. Then we've got taxi 1. Oh, we need to take it out of the graveyard. Yeah, we need to take it out of the graveyard. So in our update here, we'll just say taxi 1 dot graveyard gets false, and then now maybe it'll show up. Nice. Okay, so our DX is okay. All right. That was not nice. Good. Let's see. Instead of printing the index, I'm just going to print dy, and I'm going to floor it. Math.floor function on our dy. Yeah. And then now we should have our dy on our vulture. Okay, yeah, maybe the floor wasn't the best idea. So we've got to do a couple things. We got to do, yeah, let's take out the floor. Or how do you floor to only a couple decimals? Or truncate rather. If we take a look at our play state when we're doing %06 D. So a string.format, and then you give it a % something. So we'll do in our taxi class, when we're trying to print up our dy, we're going to say not math.floor, but we're going to do string.format, give it maybe 4 decimals, and the thing we're formatting is toString, I guess. Let's see if we put in self dy and see if it allows us, and then if not, we'll convert it to a string there. Doesn't seem to like the parentheses I've got. Maybe we just have to do this. Nope. Let's see. We're looking for a dy with a couple decimals. There we go. See, that's not exactly what I wanted. I want 4 decimals in front of it. I want 4 decimals trailing it. That's not it either. Let's see. In Firefox, we say love 2D truncate decimal. Math floor 0.5. See, I don't exactly want that. I want to truncate it. I don't want to floor it because our dy is just too little. We have to fall for more than a second to get like a 1 instead of a 0. Let's see. Not what I wanted. I don't know how to get decimal point within a couple lines. I guess for now we'll just leave it off. It's weird that... Let me see if just %d does something different. Turn it to a decimal. Yeah, see? We want the points. So we're going to say to string... Yeah, I just don't want that many decimal points, but that's okay. So we need to do a couple things. We need to add our scrolling to be off the side of the screen, right? Like it needs to go from left side of the screen to right and right side to left. Then we need to add side collision detection on our platform so it can swap its DX if it bounces on anything. So I guess let's... Oops. I'm gonna put our dy or our dx here when we're facing right too, because if we do the next step and we get facing right, we need to debug that side too. So we're gonna say right here, we're going to say if our x is greater than the virtual width, then our x gets set to be negative self.width, just off the side of the screen. One taxi width to the other side. And then we're going to say if our self.x is smaller than a negative self.width, meaning off the side on the left, then we are going to move it. We're going to say our x gets right off screen. So let's see if we loop the taxi here to the other side. Okay. See, so we still need that collision detection. The DX is resetting on the ground platform now, which is good. And that means it shouldn't fall through the floor, which it has been doing, and it loops now, so that's good. So we just need, we need collision detection, side collision detection. Yeah, right here. We've already got the function, so we can just cycle through all of our platforms. See, look, we already do it here, so we can just add the logic here. We're cycling through all our collidable platforms, which we can't side collide with the ground platform at the moment on wave 1. I think we might be able to do it once we get the retracting floor in, but we need to use these right collides and left collides on our platform so that we can reset our position. So we're going to say if we right collides with given platform value in our table of platforms, then do that logic, and then we're going to say if we left collides, do something else. And if we right collide, that means we need to give ourselves a negative dx. So we're going to take our dx and we're going to make sure it's negative. So we're going to say, we're going to take math.abs of our self dx and multiply that bad boy by -1, so we make sure it's a negative. We could just swap it, but if the collision or the resetting is wrong, it could alternate swapping it, and then we can end up with the improper dx. So this is why I'm doing absolute value times -1 to make sure it's negative. But we also need to move our x position so we don't detect a further collision. So we're going to say our x gets the platform's x minus the self.width. So it's not colliding anymore. And then left collide, we're going to say our dx needs to become positive. So we're just going to math.abs of our current dx. Then we need to reset our x position. So we're going to be putting our x to be the platform's x plus the platform's width. Now with any luck, since this is in our update function, we should have that collision detection on the platforms now, which we do, but it's wrong. So it's detecting the collision way too soon. See, it shouldn't be detecting the collision there. And I think it's because we're adding gravity. Where do we add gravity? Yeah, we add gravity here, and then before we... I think we need to add our gravity after we reset. No, because this should unreset it after gravity. You know, those shouldn't be, it shouldn't be messing up like that. Because we need, we shouldn't have a left collide unless we're applying gravity and we're not resetting it, but, oh, you know what? I think if we just do, we do the gravity reset here first for the bottom collision, then we do our side collisions, so that this is setting us so we're not colliding anymore with the bottom, which I think was screwing us up. I could be talking out of my butt. Let's see if it fixes it. Okay. Well, shit, still a little off. We might need to... see, it detects it. It's because the buffer zone. Shoot. We're detecting a left collision when we fall, which shouldn't be the case. That's why he kind of jumps forward at the end there. See how he kind of leaps forward? It's because we're detecting a right collision. Because that's first, right? Yeah. We would temporarily fix it if we did left collision first. I feel like, well, it would be a different type of mess up. Yeah, still scoots. So it's almost like there's a couple different things we can do to try to mitigate this. We can not give... I was gonna say we can not give our vulture the buffer on the bottom collision, but that'll just make it... See how we've got the buffer here in our bottom collision? If we take that out, it'll probably fix that problem. But what that'll do is make it so that we don't fall until... Make it so that we don't fall until we're like off the screen or off the platform completely. Let's just see if we take out the buffer, what that all might change. I'm thinking it'll probably fix the leaping problem. Yeah, but see how it doesn't fall until it walks completely off? So that's the problem. It's like we need to give, you know what, we can fix it by just giving our left and right collision the same buffer that we have for our bottom collision. So we can just say right collide, we need the buffer on the X, not the Y. So we can say if the right side of our ostrich is greater than that, where do we put the buffer? Our axis minus the buffer, and our right side is greater than. Okay, let me try this. We're gonna say if the right side of us is greater than the right side of us is greater than the left side plus buffer, I feel like. Yeah, greater than that plus a buffer, and our right side is smaller than the right side minus a buffer. Then we need to say on our left, we're going to say if our left side is smaller than the right side minus a buffer, and our right side, or our left side, is greater than our left side collidable plus our buffer. That might fix our leaping problem. Okay, that looks like it fixed it. And we got collision on that platform. And we got the proper DX, we're rendering proper sprites, and we're no longer doing that weird fall through the ground, and we're no longer well, okay, that's looking good. Yeah, it looks like we fall right away. That's good. And our DX is resetting upon being grounded. We still need to fix our grounded boolean because it's not working exactly, and then we need to add flapping, and then we need to add the AI, which right now the AI is so simple. All it's doing is giving it a DX in the direction that would lead it to the egg, but that's literally all it's doing. So we'll need to add more to that. But I'm gonna say okay, this is what we kind of just did. But we need to say fix grounded bool for taxi, and then add AI to find jockey. Then we'll need to add jockey taxi collision. Then we need to do the tier system update for our new vultures, which includes new sprites, new AI, different points. So we're gonna have to rehaul a couple different things, but it's really starting to come together. I think I'm gonna call that a solid little day back. I'm just a little wiped out from, I've been up since 3 flying on planes to get back home and everything. Shoot. I'm gonna say, if we run a git diff, we'll see we added our buffer to our side collidables. We added our looping. We fixed our DY for our ground platform bug. We did our bouncing off platforms logic. We have rendering DY now. We instantiate our taxi instead, and then we render our test taxi instead of our actual taxi 1. So in our git commit, we can say added taxi to platform collision and fix DY on ground platform. And then I will get pushed to our origin main and then call it a day. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll probably get the grounded working, the ground boolean, because we need to, right now we're only rendering a walking taxi, but if the taxi's in the air, its wings need to be up and we shrink. We're no longer 24 pixels tall, we're like 16 or whatever, we're a perfect square, I think. So then we'll need to do the animation cycle for being airborne, then we'll need to add jumping for the AI, which renders, or it does a couple different things. It changes our DY and it changes our sprite animation. But also, if we collide with the ground platform, we need to shift our size back up to standing, shift our sprites back up to standing, and then, you know, wait for if there's another jump coming, which, from what I can tell, it's very rare that the taxi does actually walk. It like walks at the very beginning and then it jumps for the most part. It'll walk like a little bit, but the AI seems to be like it jumps until it finds the jockey. And then I'm thinking for the AI to find the jockey, we got to do something like, I think the DX is a kind of dummy AI in the sense that it'll just, since it can't turn around, right? It can't just, if it's facing left, moving left, and there's a jockey behind it, it's not going to just stop and turn and go to the jockey. But what it will do is keep its DX going randomly, and I think the flapping has to do with the DY position. And if it's too far outside the jockey zone, it'll jump left, or it'll jump less if it's higher, and it'll jump more if it's lower, so that if the jockey's above it, it'll be flying more with the dummy DX switching, and then if it's below it, it'll jump less with dummy DX switching. That's my current plan for the AI for that. I don't think it'll be too tough, but I am worried about the tier system implementation next, but we'll get to it one step at a time.